the free WTIM mobile app at the Apple Store or Google Play.
Your information station, WTIM.
It's the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper. TaylorvilleDailyNews.com's Facebook and WTIM TV YouTube proud to bring you this stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark, and People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. Well, there's two clinicians here today from Pana Community Hospital here to tell you about some new services for the community. Tom Culbertson is the Director of Home Care Programs with Cobb County Home Health. Great to have you here, Tom.
Thank you.
I also have Colleen Rakers as an adult nurse practitioner with Pana Medical Group. Great to have you here, Colleen.
Good morning, and thank you.
So let's start with Tom. Tell me a little bit about your history and just about you in general.
Yeah, so I am a registered nurse by trade, and I spent the first part of my career in critical care, but I began to realize that there was a lot of things that we were doing kind of after the fact within the hospitals. And when they got to our door, sometimes it was almost too late to really benefit the patient. So in 2010, I actually transitioned to the home care world, and I've been with Cobb County since 2015. So I was very glad to come back here, and I actually grew up in the area, grew up in Christian County. So it's been a privilege to come back and help serve the communities here.
Briefly here, Tom, tell me a little bit about what Cobb County Home Care Programs is and does.
Yeah, so Cobb County is a division of Pana Community Hospital, and so we provide several different services. One of them is skilled home care services for patients that maybe they've got some short-term therapy needs or wound care, things that they just need nursing to come in on an intermittent basis. Then we have our hospice program, which is designed for patients that have an incurable disease, that we help kind of care for them within their home until it's their natural time to pass. And then we also have home medical equipment and supply. We have the full service with oxygen, CPAP, hospital beds, you name it. So that kind of provided us a good base for what we can do for the community, but we recognized that there were some other things that we needed to do to better care for our needs.
Let's back up a moment. Colleen, tell me a little bit about yourself and your experience.
Good morning. Yes, I am a nurse with, like Tom, critical care experience, progressed into the nurse practitioner world, which I've been a nurse practitioner since 1998. I've been here at Pana Medical Group since 2019, and prior to relocating here, I grew up to Ramsey and came back here to the area, but I had worked in Missouri, and my previous history was working with telemedicine, and so that was caring for patients in their home with the goal of keeping them in the home, giving them the highest quality of care that we could provide with the prevention of keeping them out of the ER. And so that's kind of the stimulus for this program through Cobb County, is keeping patients in their home where they want to be, keeping them out of the ER, and giving them the best quality of life that we can give them. And as a nurse practitioner, I see that as something that is very needy for the patients. They like to be able to stay out of the ER. Of course, everybody wants that. But I'm excited to be in the area. Like I said, I grew up in Ramsey, have returned back to the area, and am very excited to be part of this opportunity.
Tom, Cobb County offering some new services. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, so we are adding a couple new things. As Colleen said, there's a need to do our best to care for patients within their home. That's where most people want their care provided. So we've added something called chronic care management, which is designed for patients that have 2 or more chronic diseases. And there's a lot of research out there. I read a recent study from the American College of Rheumatology that 50% of the U.S. population is actually affected by a chronic disease. And ironically, that consumes 85% of the U.S. dollars for healthcare spend. So it's not just about dollars and cents, but it's recognizing that the majority of healthcare is going towards these people that have chronic disease. So this is a program that we can use to help patients manage their care better. And then companioning with that is remote patient monitoring. So we've kind of piloted this within home health for a little over 2 years now, where patients can check their vital signs with with specialized equipment that then transmits that data to the office so that we can help monitor that and then notify their doctor of any changes or needs. So those are the 2 new services that we're adding.
Could you explain a little bit more about chronic care management and remote patient monitoring? Just kind of dive into that a little bit more if you would, Tom.
Yeah. So chronic care management, what it is, it's a little bit of it is some in-person visits, but the majority of it is something done over the telephone. So it's helping patients understand their healthcare needs, whether it's diabetes or lung disease or heart disease, things that they can do to improve their health, helping them to educate them and better understand what they can do. And then also help them to recognize when things are changing before it becomes a crisis situation. So some of that we'll do with remote patient monitoring, in addition to being able to transmit their blood pressure reading to the office. We're developing sets of questionnaires that the patients can do every day, which kind of gives us an idea of how they're feeling. And it's validated questionnaires that specific to a disease. So like for the diabetes tool, one of the simple questions on that is, I have enough supplies or I don't have enough supplies, which then cues our office in if the patient's running out of supplies, maybe something happened to them, and it kind of gives us a heads up so that we can make sure that they are able to take care of their needs before it becomes a crisis. So,
Colleen, how does this service benefit patients?
Like I said before, I think the primary goal is their satisfaction in that they get to participate in their healthcare and their healthcare needs. They get to help manage themselves while maintaining their being at home. So they get to stay in their home. It prevents them from keeping out of the hospital. It keeps them from frequent ER visits, and it promotes high quality of care for them. And so they feel better. They're able to enjoy their life more. Like I said, they have a higher quality to their life, and they're able to manage things. Something that I had seen in my previous work experience is symptoms actually develop a couple days before these patients actually seek ER services. Patients wait until that crisis situation that they think, oh no, I can't stay home. I need to seek some help here. So we identify that early on. We're able to manage those patients. For instance, if you're a heart failure patient and you have a heart failure exacerbation, meaning you're more short of breath, you have more swelling, you have weight gain, those kind of things drive patients to the ER. If we can identify that early, which one of our indicators is looking at their daily weight, looking at their blood pressure, looking at their heart rate, looking at their oxygen saturation. We identify early symptoms and early changes, then we can identify what treatment needs to be established and initiated at that time. And so, for instance, maybe they need an extra diuretic, an extra water pill to help take some of that fluid off, thereby relieving their symptoms and preventing an ER visit. And so the whole goal is patient-centered, keeping them at the focus of this program, themselves managing with their family, helping to promote their wellness, and anybody that is able to do that within the home setting is going to have a happier experience for them to stay at home.
Tom, where can folks go to find more information about these programs?
Sure, they can contact our office, and the number is 217-562-6380, and we'll be happy to direct them or send them some information. There's also some information out there on the Medicare .gov sites, especially about chronic care management. So there's a lot of information out there for them.
Well, we'll talk a lot more about these great new programs that Pana Community Hospital and specifically Quad County Home Health are offering. That is Director of Quad County Home Care Programs, Tom Culberson, and adult nurse practitioner Colleen Rakers here on the WTIM Morning Show. More from them after this short timeout. Your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark, and People's Bank and Trust. They put people first.
WTIM.
If you're 40 and over, you'll recognize these artists by their first names: Frank, Dean, Sammy, Andy, Nat, Diana, Michael. Well, here's the big news. You can now hear Central Illinois' largest music library with over 3,500 songs on air and online at 965thechill.com. Tune in on the FM dial in Christian County and on your computer or smartphone. Hear these great artists and many more 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on 965thechill.com.
He swings and hits it deep. Right field. That's going to go. A home run. This is Cardinals broadcaster John Rooney. Soon enough, the boys of summer will be back on the fields of Jupiter, Florida. Spring training 2023. It'll be another season of home runs, hits, unforgettable moments. We will have you covered, and we'll be with you from the first pitch until the final out. Right here on the Cardinals Radio Network.
At Central Illinois Outdoors with me, Jared White, we want you to be a part of the program as well via the Archer's Alley Catch of the Week. Each week, we'll select one of your pictures submitted at centralillinoisoutdoors.com and invite you to tell your story of the great outdoors. We're looking for your kid's first catch or even your first big buck. There's a simple, easy form you can fill out on your phone or computer at centralillinoisoutdoors.com. Send us your story, send us your pic. centralillinoisoutdoors.com and the Catch of the Week, brought to you by Archer's Alley, North 22nd Street in Decatur.
You want to feel important.
You want to be part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things.
You want to feel like you belong.
We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it.
We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers.
We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more.
When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it.
We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors.
From the lakeshores of Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota,
the fertile fields of Indiana, Illinois, and Iowa, to the wide open plains of North and South Dakota.
We are here for our hometowns.
And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Illinois Army National Guard, aired by the Illinois Broadcasters Association and this station.
Taylorville Care Center, Taylorville's premier nursing facility, is hiring, offering the best opportunities in town with new wages, elite pay, and premium pay programs for RNs, LPNs, and CNAs. Get more by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Hi, this is Will Perkins with Taylorville Community Credit Union. Find out about all the products and services we provide by clicking our icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station. WTIM.
Welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper, your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark and People's Bank and Trust. They put people first. Those streams online on the TaylorvilleDailyNews.com Facebook or on YouTube at WTIM TV. I'm here on the phone with Director of Quad County Home Care Programs, Tom Culberson, as part of a subset of Pana Community Hospital, and adult nurse practitioner Colleen Rakers. You know, before going to break, Colleen talking a lot about how these new chronic care management and remote patient monitoring services are really beneficial for a lot of patients. So again, let's briefly hear who might be ideal for these services, Colleen.
Patients that have multiple chronic conditions. So right now we're focusing on patients with diabetes, patients with heart failure, patients with lung diseases such as COPD or emphysema. There's other chronic conditions, though, that would also put patients at qualifications to enroll in this program, such as atrial fibrillation, cancer, heart disease, high blood pressure, drug abuse or substance abuse, just to name a few. But we're looking to help manage patients with 2 or more chronic conditions that we can help support them in achieving their health goals.
How is this service paid for, Tom?
So the majority of it is actually paid for by Medicare, and Medicare treats it just like a doctor's office visit. So most of the time, supplemental insurances then will kick in if there's any co-pays involved. Some commercial insurances are paying for this service too, but by far the majority of it is your traditional Medicare is the payer for it. And a lot of that's just because of the nature of the age bracket. You know, that the folks that have these chronic diseases tend to be Medicare age.
Colleen, do you have to be a patient to have this service?
You do not have to be a patient of mine per se. I am just here to support the program, offer protocols, some experience, kind of established as the collaborating provider to Quad County to help manage chronic care management. Basically, patients would still go through their healthcare provider, whoever that may be. If they're interested in this program, they can meet with that healthcare provider and have an open discussion about how they would like to enroll in chronic care management, which they would get in contact with Tom and his team, be evaluated and assessed for the program, and enter the program. And so once they're entered into the program, information is still shared with that healthcare team of their own primary physician. So I'm here mainly to support the program, help offer education, protocols, policies, that type of thing. But the patient would still maintain their relationship with their own healthcare provider.
That's a good piece of clarification. Tom, anything else that you'd like to add about either the chronic care management or remote patient monitoring programs?
No, except that we're very glad to be able to provide this service to the community, and we think it's going to affect not only individuals' health, but the health of the population. So we think it's kind of the wave of the future of what's next in healthcare.
Colleen, do you have any final thoughts?
No, I would just agree with what Tom said. This is kind of the care of the future. It is, we establish a positive patient relationship. We provide access 24/7 in managing their chronic diseases. We're helping to prevent episodic episodes of exacerbations. We're here to offer support, help keep the patient engaged in their healthcare management, and coordinating and sharing this information back to their healthcare provider. Like Tom, I'm very excited to be a part of this program. I've seen it work in my past work history. We were able to keep patients out of the ER as we identify early on symptoms to prevent crisis situations from formulating.
Tom, here in about 20 seconds, what other services do you offer at Quad County? What counties that Quad County serves, et cetera?
Yeah, so we offer services in Christian, Fayette, Shelby, Montgomery, and Macoupin counties in Illinois. And so we provide, again, the skilled home care, the home health and home medical equipment supply, all comprehensive services that we believe are necessary to help keep patients in their home.
That is Director of Quad County Home Care Programs, Tom Culberson, and Adult Nurse Practitioner, Colleen Rakers. Thank you both for coming on.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Your stream on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com's Facebook and WTIM TV YouTube, brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville.
WTIM.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomas.